to teach. I'm just going to go down the line. I'm going to go with Miss McQuillan here. Now, Miss McQuillan has taught many different levels through the years, and she is one of the most dynamic teachers I have seen at the high school, because I've also been at the high school, and I've seen her teach all different levels and the way she can get kids excited about, you know, English and the different projects she does. It's not uncommon to see a lot of dress-up kind of going up there. I even learned some Russian literature from her and a whole bunch of other good things. So, with all the vast experience you have, what advice would you give for the incoming parents and the incoming students from the English department? Because we have this new thing called summer reading, which I know the high school's been more on board with, but we have the first time at Abbott, and it's a great concept and we believe in it, but it is a little rough jumping from what we're doing here, and we're trying to make the transition smoother here.
Well, the first thing that I can say is that Dr. Martin, who is our assistant superintendent, has set up a lot of conversations between the middle school English teachers and the high school English teachers. And I'm talking Olms, Abbott, and West Bloomfield High School meet at the same table. We talk about what we're doing, and a lot of that conversation is driven by what we tell them the kids need to get into college, and then we work backwards from there, because that's the end goal, getting them into college, getting them the marketable skills that they need. And as a result, I am seeing some really positive changes happening in the middle school, like the summer reading program and like annotations. How many of you are familiar with your child annotating? Yes, I'm so happy to hear that. That's wonderful. And it's spreading. It's, you know, we're working on it, and they're asking us for examples of what we expect, and it's a transition, but it's a great transition, and it's one where we're seeing better and better and better improvement when they come into 9th grade. Now, my daughter is actually back there and just made the transition from elementary to middle school. And I don't think that it's much different making the transition from middle school to high school. I think the number one thing, whether you're talking about English or anything else, is that they have to have study habits, study skills. They have to know how to take notes. They need a planner. I actually just pulled some research for the administration that talked about the academic differences between kids who use a planner versus kids who don't use a planner. It's significant. And those study skills, whether you're talking about English or anything else, will make all the difference in the world. And if you think that your kid is having trouble with study skills or with note-taking, contact the counselor, see what programs are out there, but that is the number one piece of advice that I can give you for that transition. Because that's the thing. The kids go from juggling this amount of workload to this amount of workload, and then Mario can tell you when they jump to that honors, you know, those honors classes in 10th, a lot of them, the bigger jump is from 9th to 10th grade. Was it hard? It was really hard. The expectations went from here to here, but Mario was successful. It just took time. And you know, you've got to get them time, you've got to support, you've got to check Power School. The other thing that I would say from an English perspective, and the reason that we incorporated that summer reading is because we saw a lot of data. We do a lot. I'm a research nerd. Mario can absolutely attest to that. I research everything on fancy research sites because I don't like just general research sites. But I'm also a composition teacher at OCC, so I have access to some paid databases, which makes my life a lot easier. But the research says when kids don't read, and quite frankly, many of your kids would not pick up a book over the summer unless we required them to. I know it's been a bit of a transition, but I'm going to say this. The more that we can get them reading, the more we can get them practicing those skills, the less behind the 8 ball they're going to be when they walk into the high school. And we ask them to hit the ground running. Yes, we are worried about their social and emotional development. Yes, we are worried about making them a part of a much bigger school. We have 1850 kids, if I'm not mistaken. Tom, do I have that right? Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, it's huge. It's double what you see at the middle school. And our freshman teachers are absolutely committed to making them comfortable. But that doesn't mean that we drop the rigor. The rigor is important, and in order to support the rigor, you need to make sure that they have those things in place. That's the absolute best 2 pieces of advice that I can give you. and make sure they have the study skills that they need.